Hello, everybody. I'm more than happy to welcome all of you to our panel about ADHD at working age. That means that we are going to talk today about the adults and ADHD. Awareness Month is a big month for ADHD. October, it's in a collaboration with our partners all over the world. And it's a result for partners from Month Coalition in ADHD Europe, America, and SADC in Canada. And we have a long work behind us, several years. And I hope you can get today some answers, some questions in your head about what we are talking. Today we have here persons. Viljamur comes from Iceland, Silvana comes from Macedonia, Penelope comes from Estonia, and I come from Finland. And now, short introduction, Viljamur, I give you the virtual microphone.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Viljamur, but I mostly do other things like a typical ADHD. Diagnosed back in the year 2000 when I was 33 years old. 10 years later or so, I am the board of the local ADHD Association, which I am now chairman of. I act, but daytime job is to do with technology and film and TV and broadcast. And I do a lot of other things. Yep, typical ADHD person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Silvana, please.
Yes. Hi to all, and thank you for the invitation to be part of this broadcast. I'm coming from North Macedonia. I'm child and adolescent psychiatrist, and I'm in the field of ADHD for 24 years, and like clinician and like researcher. So my topic of interest are actually neurophysiology of ADHD. I'm doing QEEG or brain mapping and neurofeedback just for better understanding of ADHD and improving the treatment methods. And my goal is to improve the ADHD awareness and management, particularly in my country where recognition of adult ADHD is still developed. Thank you.
Thank you. Tanel.
Hello, my name is Tanel. I'm from Estonia. ADHD arrived in my life 12 years ago when my first child got a diagnosis. And that led me to a recognition that I have been struggling with ADHD all my life. And so I was diagnosed 5 years ago. And also I am a founding member of ADHD in Estonia, which is ADHD Patient Representative Organization. Our goal is to inform society about ADHD, and especially with science-based information. So in my day job, I am a scientist. I actually work in the field of mathematical neuroscience. And so for me, it's really important that the information that is disseminated is actually science-based.
Good, thank you. And as a lead for this day, so I'm Nina and I come from Finland. I have been working with ADHD 12 years as a CEO for the organization. I have a good team in Finland, and we have about 500,000 contacts yearly. So it tells that creating awareness of ADHD is very important. And that's also, we are here today. Great awareness. Okay, let's jump on the day's agenda. I ask you first, Viljamur, how can ADHD affect work, or does it affect your work?
It affects it in many ways, sometimes good, sometimes bad. I happen to work in a place where I think it's about 85% ADHD, and it helps a lot. You can get out of the way, but I have to be aware of it. It's also my job in a way to let other people know, so they can understand why I behave like this or that. And basically, a lot of the things I do, my ADHD is actually part of the fact that I can do it. But boy, can it get in my way some days. It just depends. I'm not the person who will hand something in at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, but I will deliver probably much more than you asked me for, but what you needed eventually.
Okay. Thank
No
you.
excuse. It's the way I work, function.
Okay. Thank you. Tanel, do you think that you must tell that you have ADHD when you are looking for a job for the employer? What do you think?
I think you do not have to. If you already are working and you have a good relationship with your employer, then maybe from some aspects it would be good for your employer to know. But I think when you're looking for a job, I don't think it's something you must disclosure.
Thank you. Then I asked Silvana. I got the question from Facebook. I asked people there. I have long-term stress or mental well-being problems. Can I have ADHD? What do you think if I have long-term stress or mental well-being problems? Is it something you could have with ADHD to do? Okay, Silvana, don't hear my question. I jump for next one. I ask it again.
She may be frozen, but
yes,
yeah, that's
yes.
a big problem. Shall I jump in here? I can take this ball.
Yes, you can tell. You can also, yes.
The stress and other stuff, can it possibly have to do with ADHD? Yes, most definitely. I'm a typical example. I was wrongly diagnosed with depression for nearly 20 years until I got the right diagnosis and threw away my depression medication, and my life changed. It is very important if you see depression, anxiety, and nowadays we also know, for example, obesity. If those things, one or all of them, are together, a health official should actually consider an ADHD diagnosis. It doesn't need to be there, but it should be looked into in those cases.
Okay, thank you. Then I could ask you, Silvana, is medication used for treating ADHD? We get a lot of medication questions. So you as a doctor, what is your opinion of medication and ADHD?
So all of us know that the medication can be highly effective for the treatment of ADHD, but it is not the only way to support individuals with this condition. So we know that we have stimulant medication and non-stimulant medication, and we know its effectiveness. But also, I will say that the patient must work also for their life changes in some routines in their life, and just they have to take some behavioral treatments like cognitive behavior therapy, coaching, mindfulness. So just not to rely only on medication, because we know while the medication is in the blood, they will have improvement, but when they will stop to take the medication, they must just find some solution.
Okay, I'm glad when you say that the medication is not the only way to support, because I think also understanding and right support methods are very important. And for example, peer groups and like that are very, very good thing. Do you know? Now it's a question for all of you. What does ADT, attention deficit trait, mean? Do you talk in your countries about that? William Moore, do you talk about ADT?
I know what you're talking about. We may not use that term, but I know what it is. Yes, it can be ADHD related, but it doesn't need to be. And it's different in the way that ADHD is with me 24/7, 365. ADT without any ADHD in the equation is something which is completely stress related, has to do with things around you. Will trouble somebody with ADHD sometimes it won't, but it does not need to be ADHD.
Yes. Do you, Tanel, do you talk in Estonia about these things?
I think in recent years, because people are talking more about other aspects of ADHD than just hyperactivity. So for a long time in Estonia, the standard word for ADHD was hyperactive kids. But now people are talking more about the other aspects of ADHD, like impulsivity and problems with managing your attention. And I think that has many people have realized that they might have ADHD, because previously they thought it's not possible because I'm not crazy, I'm not running around, I'm able to sit still. But I think this is one of the reasons why the ADHD diagnosis have in recent years gone up, and I think it's a good thing. Because I always like to say that hyperactivity is something that disturbs teachers and adults, but what will really make life difficult for somebody with ADHD is the impulsivity and attention problems.
Do you, Silvana, talk about the ADT, attention deficit trait, in your country?
Yes. Also, we are seeing this in our practice. So the people are coming now. They, read on the internet that all about ADD or ADHD, and they coming. I say, okay, I have the ADD. And because of that, actually, we are not just relying our diagnosis only on interview and questionnaires. Because of that, we are doing the neurophysiologists. And that is how actually we are just make differential diagnosis if it is real ADD or we have attention deficit trait.
Yes, there's a reason why I ask this, because this is very, very hot also in our country, in Finland. We are talking a lot, and same time we are talking that there's no ADHD because people have ADT. But I think that it's a question of both. I think so. Because at least I can see that the queues are very long to get a diagnosis. And I know that at least in Iceland, Estonia, there's long queues to get diagnosis. So there's this discussion in social media have, I think it has points that has nothing to do with this, our problem. What do you think is important to tell if you want to tell the employer? So what would be important to tell about ADHD? Because I have got those questions. I'm having a person with ADHD coming for a job. What is important to know about, or is it anything important?
So I once read in one article online, and I think I really liked the points that was given there. And one of the points was for the co-workers and employers to redefine what respect means. For example, maybe people with ADHD are not so good with managing the time, and if work starts at 8:30, but you arrive at 8:45, 8:50, don't make a big deal out of it. Then maybe sometimes people with ADHD or neurodiverse people in general, they want to have maybe headphones when they're doing work, and it's not a sign of disrespect. It's just a way of focusing. And but the other things, for example, I think people with ADHD work best with short time deadlines. If somebody's going to tell me that I need to finish something for summer, then that's actually when I'm going to do it. So it helps to have this short-term deadlines. Before my ADHD diagnosis, I always remember that I wrote my best articles under moderate stress at the last moment. That's when I was most efficient of doing things. And and another last idea is that if you I think for many people with ADHD, the biggest problem in the work environment is this constant interruptions. So when you are in a workflow and then somebody breaks the workflow, then sometimes it's quite difficult to get back into the workflow. So yeah.
Yes, good. Yes. I asked that because when you employ in Finland, for example, ADHD people, so if they are going to have a support from the government, you have to tell how you support these people. But same time, I want to say also, it's very small things, head settings, perhaps own room, or you can work in a night time if it's the best time, if it goes, if the work is like that. So I think it's good to know something as an employment office person who are working with, but in same time, so I think it's very personally if you want to tell that you have ADHD. You are not, because you don't tell that you have diabetes, you have that and that and that. So why to tell about ADHD? It's from person to person how they do it.
Yeah. Can I jump in there? I think there's another aspect to this. In my case, I wouldn't need to do it because I'm a well-known face in Iceland. They all know that I have ADHD, but I think it's important to mention it, not maybe on day one, but it also for the managers, for the company owners and stuff. It's important to think about every employee as an individual, neurodivergent or not. We are none of us are the same. We're all part of a big flora, and I sometimes, when I'm talking about management, I explain it as a director. I have 15 amateur actors on stage. I do not want 15 heads trying to do what they think I want. My job is to create a surrounding, make it creative. I may have to run and change my way of thinking and my ideas and stuff, but that way I get the most out of everybody. And that is how the management in the company should think. So in that sense, we shouldn't shy away about talking about ADHD.
But
Yes.
just wanted to add that probably people with ADHD tend to overshare. So at one point we will share anyway.
Yes, yes. I feel that it's very good that I know that person needs, for example, breaks a little bit more than my other stuff. But as William said, we are individuals and we all need something at the workplace. And when we are recruiting people and like that, when I'm looking for you, Silvana, I'm thinking, do you meet in your job problems with employment with ADHD people? Okay, Silvana don't hear my question. I think do you hear my question? Some problems with her line. Okay. I think I'm going to ask you the last question. How do you see the future of people with ADHD? What is needed more globally and in your own country? What do you think we need more? Awareness. We know all awareness is our goal, but what is think? Everything is good what you can think, but what is number one? William,
Well, yeah.
put your microphone on.
We only children working with it.
Okay, Tanel, please.
So yeah, you already mentioned awareness, but I still think it's important to talk science-based information on ADHD, because there is a lot of rubbish out there and a lot of myths about ADHD. And but other, of course, it's we need better access to mental health care. And as you already mentioned, that there are long waiting lines. So in Estonia, 5 years ago, well, everybody knew that you can always go to the private clinic because there are no waiting lines. But now, at some of the popular private mental health care clinics, there are waiting lines. Some of the clinics are saying that they do not accept any new clients. So this is needed.
Okay. I think Silvana is online now. Yes. Yes, please say.
Yeah. So but at the same time, of course, I think it's important that the diagnosing of ADHD doesn't become too streamlined or too simplified, because I recently heard that in America, the FDA is going to reevaluate the rules about telemedicine, and especially from giving the ADHD diagnosis. And there was a documentary in the UK, BBC documentary, about that, how this telemedicine clinics sometimes do it too easily, and I think that although we want to reduce the waiting lines, but we can't make it such that it's the people are going to get the diagnosis when they actually don't need it.
Yes, because then we have the problem they have in Sweden. They have clinics that takes the ADHD diagnosis away. And as we say in Finland, everything that looks like ADHD is not ADHD. So you have to have a portfolio from your childhood and your young years and like that, what your life has been looking for. But I think in same time we know that there's a lot of people who has the difficulties to get the diagnosis and they need a diagnosis. But in the same time, I think also that to have a diagnosis, so you can get a lot of support before also that. And that is something I think that we have to increase and create more support models and things that we can offer people. But let's try again, William. You was
Can you hear me now?
No, so yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, I probably somehow lowered my microphone volume. Probably scratched my ear. It's my earphone.
Yes.
Okay, I said we all need to catch people, children and adults, a lot sooner, because with knowing about this sooner rather than later will help you a lot. You may even avoid you having to take medication, or need less of it. And we also need, as you were saying earlier, we need quality access to quality diagnosis. It is very important to make sure there's nothing else that explains things. ADHD should not the first sort of assessment. You take everything else away. But keep in mind, though, that a lot of people are misdiagnosed with depression, with anxiety, etc., and nobody looks at the ADHD possibility. So that is a very important thing. We need, in Iceland, yes, we need better access for adults, but children as well. But you said in Sweden they were undiagnosing ADHD. Okay, cases are there. I don't think it's a majority, but yes, if there are some cases where it has been misdiagnosed, it should be looked at.
Yes, that's true. Silvana, do you hear us, or are you on still picture? I think she has line problems still. As an CEO from the Finnish ADHD Organization, I hope really that people who need help, they can get the help, and the awareness among the professionals and among the parents, among the kindergarten teachers could increase. And right, as Tanel said, evidence-based information, we need that. We need to work with researchers together and give them information about the daily life of ADHD. Also, my experience is that when we have people with own experience, the doctors like to hear also what's happening in the daily life. You usually get half an hour from the doctors and you cannot tell everything. That's also very important. And I hope that in the future we don't have myths, we have facts. That's something we have to work. I usually say 1 of 10 have ADHD. So I tell my colleagues also, everybody of you have ADHD in your staff, in your people. So let's work together also.
In Estonia, there is a gene bank. We have 150,000 donors there. And they, some years ago, made a study when they surveyed 86,000 gene donors and then studied their genes. And they concluded that ADHD is among top 5 mental health concerns in Estonia. And that was a study on 86,000 gene donors.
Okay, that sounds very good. Silvana, I see that you are online now. What would you say about the future of ADHD? If you think a very nice and good future. Put your microphone on. Microphone, please.
Sorry, I think that the
Good.
future of people with ADHD is looking promising, especially if we raise the awareness and understanding of the condition. I will talk now, especially for my country. We need increase awareness and education, not just to the professional, but all lawyers and educators and the general public. Because understanding of ADHD symptoms and changes is something that we must have for inclusive environment. Then access to comprehensive treatment option is very important because we don't have access here to medication and
Okay, we miss Silvana again. Thank you very much. I think Chantal wrote something behind there down, and that's positive thinking, finding solution, and working together, also in your own countries, but also find solution Europe-wide, worldwide. And I will be very grateful if people more find good models to share, and think also that medicine is not the only one. We know that medicine is a good thing for ADHD, but we have a lot of people waiting several years for diagnosis, and we have to take care of these people also in advance. And as raising awareness to the public is very important with all the people that have with children and young and adults to do. So thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.